Here we are in Director MX 2004, and we have open Arteroids 2017. I'd like to show you basically the structure of the code of Arteroids. First, I guess we should note that there are no extras involved in this, and this code can run also in Director 11.5 as well as Director MX 2004 and probably Director 12, which I haven't checked yet. I don't have Director 12. But anyway, this one source file, Arteroids 2017, is the only source code required for Arteroids. Okay, well, if you've never seen the Director development environment before, let's have a quick look at the main parts of it. This is called the score, or the timeline. The main metaphor in Director is that one develops movies. And so we can think of this as frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, frame 5, etc. Each of these is a numbered frame. And within any particular frame, for instance in frame 75, there can be any number of sprites. Each of these is a sprite. And this red dinghy is called the playback head. Where we see this indicates where the movie currently is. And you can move the playback head like that. This is the button that takes you to the score window. This is the stage. This is what the user sees, what the player sees when they play the game. Cast window is down here. These are all of the scripts and sounds and bitmaps, all of the media involved in the movie, the cast. It's split up into different casts. These concern the PHP for saving scores to the internet. This is the cast for computing and storing and displaying scores. This cast holds all of the sound. This cast, WFS 4.8, Windows for Shockwave 4.8, is a cast of behaviors that I created to support the creation of windows in Shockwave or projectors. This cast, the buttons cast, contains all of the bitmaps that are buttons in the game and a configurable behavior that determines their behavior. The reviews cast, there's a window that displays links to reviews. Well, this cast is for that window. So those are the three main parts of Director. The timeline, or the score as it's called, the movie window, which is what the player views, and then the cast, all of the media that are involved in the movie. These buttons rewind, stop, and play the piece. Well, let's play it. Rewinding it rewinds the playback head to 1. I can hit play. Now the first thing that happens, because I have a breakpoint here, is we see the script window, and execution has halted in this prepare movie handler. Each movie can have a prepare movie handler which executes and initializes the movie before it starts. This prepare movie handler is in a script called one prepare movie, which is, if we look in the cast window in WFS 4.8, it's right here. So this script is a part of WFS. So we're looking at the debugger for Director. It's like many other debuggers. So I'm going to hit the run script button. And so it goes to the next breakpoint, which is another breakpoint that I've set. This is the step into script button. This is the step script button. So I'm going to step. We just heard a sound. That sound is the sound that you hear when you first open Arteroids. So what happens when you first start up Arteroids is that it goes to frame 1 and it executes the prepare movie handler. Then it executes this script called initializing texts script, which just cleans up some texts and makes sure there's no problematical characters and stuff. Then it goes here. It says create ID. So yes, we're at a window right now where you create your ID and then click OK. Let's look a little bit more closely at what's going on in the score, the timeline. We see we are here because the playback head is right here. These orange sprites are managers. By convention, I make the manager sprites in my director movies orange. The name of this manager is Score Mode and Level Manager. This is the Velocity Manager. This is the User Data Manager, the Sound Manager, the Score PHP Manager. And we can see that these sprites are actually here. Score Mode and Level Manager is actually right here, off stage. The Velocity Manager is here, and so on. All of these managers are off stage. The Score PHP Manager manages the PHP that gets and saves scores in game mode to the internet. The Sound Manager, of course, manages all of the sounds. What happens with managers is that they manage some data, and sprites can subscribe to these managers and get updates and information from the managers when they need sounds or when they need to know that a sound has played or that sort of thing. Now here we have a window. This whole thing is a window. A window begins with the window manager, and then all of the elements of the window have the window/menu element behavior attached to them. So all this is one window. Well, what is this window? If I click here, then I look at the property inspector, I see that the name of the window is username. So all of the sprites involved in this thing are in one window called username. Now when I click OK, what happens? We hear a sound and we go somewhere else. Where have we gone? We know we've gone somewhere else because the playback head is no longer here. Let's find the playback head. Okay, here it is. Well, what is this window? Main menu. Okay, well, so this is one window. It's the main menu. But we have some other windows in this frame. What is this window? This window is the credits window. Okay, well, from the main menu, when we click credits, we see this window. That's the credits window. And they're all on the same frame. We're still on this frame. Okay, well, let's go to play mode. So I click this. Where's the playback head gone? Well, let's scroll and find out. Okay. Here it is. So we still have these managers that we had to begin with. These managers are instantiated throughout the whole score. Throughout the whole game, that is. Wherever we go in the timeline, these managers are still going to be instantiated. What's this window? This is the play intro window. So it's going to be all of these sprites. What's this window? The difficulty window. It's quite a large window. Where is that? Well, when we mouse over level, we get a window that has all sorts of stuff in it. And that's what this window is. I'm going to change this so that I don't get killed. I'm going to go deathless, just for the purposes of illustration, so that I don't get killed and the playback head jumps around back to this menu or some other menu. So now I'm going to click play, and you can see that we're now playing the game. Now where is the playback head? Well, let's see if we can find it. Here's the playback head. We can see that it's looping. It's looping on this big window. What is this window called? Well, it's called Play One. Well, yeah, this is the menu for... This has all the sprites in it for playing in play mode. Here are the exploding green letters. There's only so many of them. Here's the exploding blue letters. So you see there's lots of sprites involved here. Here's the missiles. So anyway, that shows you a little bit of what's involved in the code of Arteroids. Thanks for checking it out.